This game might be the closest thing I'll ever come to heroin. Okay, I don't actually know if I can say that. Musume is a game about you choosing a horse girl to raise and help her achieve her dreams of becoming the ultimate racist. Naturally, the first time I ever saw this game, I thought this was gonna be about you dating the characters. But then, they hit me with The intro was actually this, but the anime in the movie was what hooked me. The atmosphere was so captivating. There's this heart-pumping action to watching TM Opera O put everything they got into the victory, especially combined with the announcer going crazy, which the real-life horse did in a nearly impossible feat of breaking through and speeding from behind with an insane last spurt, marking him as the undeniable overlord. Which then led to me spiraling down this rabbit hole of countless hours raising my multitude of daughters, then going to watching all of the anime and the movies while raising said daughters, then researching about the real horse counterpart and watching them race. I'm gonna be talking about the game and then the movie. So if you're on the fence about trying or just wanted to see the experience through the eyes of someone who A, doesn't really watch sports, B, doesn't have interest in sports, and C, definitely has lost his mind, then let me tell you about Musume. Hey my fellow Uma enthusiasts, Emperor here. Welcome to the amazing legendary school that houses the many elite Umas you'll get to scout. Tracing Academy is a stable in the racing industry and contains everything a trainer needs for their trainee. You see, Musume is a very specific niche in the game genre that I just happen to be very addicted to. If someone knows what it's actually called, please tell me. The main gimmick of the game is to pick a horse, ranging from "you're really nice" nature to "ma'am, are you a little too old to be here?" and gold chip. Hold your horses because I want to reinforce the idea that there are no bad Umas, only bad support cards. Which, let's rip the band-aid out right away. This is a gacha game, which means we're here to gamble. Gamble on the cards, gamble on the training, gamble on the races, and gamble on whether Gold Chip will listen or not. However, the thing I like most is that this is quite free-to-play friendly, and most importantly, no artifact system. I have dropped every single game with the artifact system because it is quite literally the worst invention since the Battle Pass system. After picking an Uma, you'll get a snippet into their story, which I haven't read any. Now, your job is to help them achieve their dreams by training them and choosing the right skills. The first 3 years of their career is the most important time of their lives, which mirrors the real world where horses usually race at 2 and retire at 5. And here's my favorite gameplay loop. I don't know what it's called, I just know seeing the numbers go up causes my ventral tegmental to shoot me up with dopamine. A word of advice, if you are just starting out, I actually recommend you enjoy it without looking up a guide because this game is pretty much a roguelike and the little story events are quite charming. There's no winning ticket to mastering the game, only a special week to get the groove on. So let me break it down for you and show you how to optimize your horse growth. There's an energy bar. If it's below half, then your next training will have a chance at failure. If the chance of failure is in the double digit, please do not gamble on this. This number is an angular lure. There's a bit of an intricate yet simple outline, especially when the JP server is 4 years ahead of us, making our game look like the beta version. Everything depends on the distance your daughter is racing, and since this isn't a guide video, I won't go over too much. As you can see, there are 5 main stats in the game, all equally as important as the other, with the first 2 being obvious to what they do. Power determines your daughter's acceleration and her ability to push forward to the front of the pack. Wits is how smart they are, determining the rates at which skills activate and if they made a mistake during the race or not. Finally, guts, which a lot of people often associated as the middle sibling. Ignoring it. What guts actually does is reduce the stamina consumption right at the final spurt of the race, which to those who don't understand the actual distance of the last 200 meters, it's a lot longer than you think. So Guts is especially good for medium to long races. Now to the gameplay. After your first turn, do a recreation with her because an Uma's mental state being high is extremely impactful. You only need to do this once since you'll have a pretty good chance to get a mood up event as well, giving the Emperor a new groove. Now, during the early game, you seriously just want to go for friendship training. Keep doing that till it's orange and your friends will help you out in tough times. Then, to train your Uma most of the time without letting her rest is to rotate smartly between wit training, racing, and whatever else you need. The reason being, wit training gives energy back. See this? I have little friends on all of these trainings, so I go over to the race. If it's a G1 that you think she can win, then let her race because having enough fans will upgrade her primary skill and most of these skills are incredibly impactful. Make sure it's before these 3 dates since these are the upgrade events. Also, 99% of the time during an event, pick the option that gives energy back so that your daughter may never know what a bed is. Lastly, for the gacha, if you are free to play like I am, pulling SR cards will benefit you way more than SSRs purely because you can get more of them, which in turn will lead to a better time in beating career mode on all Umas. Side note, if you want to do the PvP, then having high wits will help in gaining a higher score because scores are calculated with how many times a skill activated. But if we are talking about the Champions Cup, there's nothing I can do for you. So let's talk about the equivalent of extensive eugenics. See, after completing an Uma's career, they will become veterans meant to inspire future generations. With this, we have a randomly selected stat block that will boost your next trainee by a huge margin. Meaning, if you have a 3-star daughter, then you'd want to mix that daughter with another 3-star daughter of hopefully the same stat block, making the next Uma start with an insane bonus. But that's not all, because the parent Uma also pass on their previous generation blocks as well, and there is an infinity system that allows for an even greater trigger bonus. Do you see where I'm going with this? The ultimate parents are formed from having a 9-star horse while also giving your next daughter a double circle, giving her an insane amount of power. I found this bit really funny because after a race, the girls would go on to perform a winning concert, meaning not only did you just ran your heart out, probably exhausted as hell, if you were second or below, you better go get your bearings in order and put on a good show. I have no idea why they're dancing after a race, other than to sell their products, of course. Lastly, there's a club function in the game to which I don't fully know what it does at the moment, but basically you can join, ask for some new shoes, and watch the Umas do their thing. Like, let me break it down for you. But of course, there is something more intriguing to this game than just the addicting gameplay. The reason behind why this game has taken over the world is because this is a sports game. There's something special about sports that makes the people who watch them so energetic and passionate. The story of Oguri Cap is what sparked this video in the first place. Spoiler warning for the movie and every anime. Being born unable to walk and from a mother and father of horses that was considered unremarkable, Oguri Cap started as a countryside kid who barely knew of the world. But on a fateful day, the world would feel the rumbling of the beast. Look at the way she was moving. This was her first G1 race and she got all of the elite looking fearful. Oguri Cap's real life story is the very definition of a hero's journey, and it's an amazing adaptation of the real life story. The first half of the season is about how she got to Trace an Academy, and I really like how they depicted her as this cool, calm, collected person who's only serious when it comes to the races. But I think Oguri's growth for the first season and what she has to deal with is want. What I mean is that Oguri does this for the love of the game. She has no goals for winning any specific races, and this would lead her to some problems. Goals are what makes us better. When we beat a goal, we should always set another. It's good to enjoy what you do, and especially for Oguri Cap, we can understand why she does it for the love of the game. It was a miracle that she can even run. And all I'm saying is, be ready for season 2, cause it's gonna be even more intense than what it is now. Also, it's really freaking funny. No, Oguri, we're not getting the— You're gonna eat my wallet! No. Okay, that's pretty cute. But let's take a step back for a moment because I want to talk about sports in general. I was once probably like many of you guys. I wasn't into any of it and wondered what's even the joy of watching people butt heads or putting efforts into, well, anything. After all, in the end, it's all meaningless. But then, I ran into Blue Lock. While the entire anime had less frames than Oguri running, to me the manga is one of the best sports story I have ever experienced, and it's taught me so many life lessons I will continue to carry on in life. When I picked up season 1 and subsequently the manga, I understood the why. Competition drives the best out of us, but it's not just the competition, it's the will. The same goes for Uma Musume. Seeing the girls train and run with everything they got because they want to be the best inspires me to work hard as well. And to this day, it is still difficult to put my feelings about these moments into words. But I think Joe Kitahara said it perfectly for me when he yelled out to Oguri, "Make this world your own. Let your races light a fire in your fans' heart. Give them the strength, the courage to carry on, the power to give people dreams." This doesn't just apply to only running. Boxing, football, basketball, every single sport has these kind of moments where once you see, you will be filled with this intense fire of striving for the best version of yourself and overcome your limits. Uma Musume showed me that there's more to sports than purely the competition. It showed me the why. There's a heart and a story behind why people run, and it's in those stories that makes the scene so damn fun. One of my favorite characters in the franchise is Agnes Tachyon. Is that Goku Black? Spoiler warning for the entire movie. Skip to here if you are going to watch it because I promise you the movie is very good. I watched it like 3 times already. Tachyon is an eccentric girl. Oddly sweet, I think. She's the type to do whatever she wants. Did she just hand out testosterone? But when she runs, she does it for the love of the game. In the movie, we follow Jungle Pocket on her way to become the strongest racer in the world. So in the Satsuki Show Showdown, one of Japan's biggest crown event, she once again challenges Agnes Tachyon. This was it. The strongest racist of today versus the possibly strongest racist in history. And she almost trips. So Jungle Pocket managed to catch up to Pac and she was like, this is it. Money, fame, and all the carrots in the world. I'm about to beat Tachyon and claim my rightful place as the undisputed strongest this era can produce. Wow, that's a cute dream of yours. But you're only licking the dirt off my boot right now. Agnes Tachyon then, I don't know, taps into the Speed Force, leaving everyone behind. Oh, and you thought that was all? She said, this ain't my full potential yet, and activates a second spurt. She is now so dominating that she only had her own potential to race against. Tachyon had both fans and commentator asking when is she gonna win her next crown rather than if. But unfortunately, we need to talk about the injury. Injuries are an athlete's biggest fear, but it's not the injury themselves that haunts the athletes, but the fear of never being able to reach your potential or even surpass it ever again. Season 2 of Uma Musume dealt with this theme and the movie touched up on it. Except, the movie was more subtle since Tachyon isn't our protagonist. Tachyon was forced into retirement after just 4 dominating races due to a debilitating condition much like her real-life counterpart, the Phantom Triple Crown. Imagine being born as one of the greatest meant to usher in a new era, yet you can only watch as your peers go onward achieving something you could have done. It must be the worst feeling an athlete could experience. She says she doesn't care about it, but she also admits that it's her nature to care. After all, Umas are born to run. There's always this moment in everyone's mind, the what if things were different? What if I had done something different? These thoughts probably permeate her mind as we see her room gets trashed over the course of the movie. She's clearly depressed despite wearing a smile all the time. The one thing she loves doing is taken away from her and she could do nothing but watch it all burn. Pocket was dealing with her own self-inadequacy throughout the movie. She couldn't face Tachyon anymore and would never know if she's truly the strongest racer. I believe this conversation is crucial to what's going on inside of Tacheon's mind. She sees that Pocket dealt with the same thoughts and feelings. What is the point of running anymore? She can just fade back into doing her experiments. Wouldn't that just be easier? In the final race of the movie, the Japan Cup, one of the most viewed race in the entire movie with Umas from all across the world attending, Tacheon has this sad look in her eye as she stood alone atop the stadium. Maybe she wishes that it was her in the race. It was unfair, she didn't do anything wrong. She was simply born this way. She witnessed the world class pass by without her, achieving her dreams in her place. So, maybe it's best to just give up. She saw Jungle Pocket, the girl that declared she will surpass her, breaking the limitation of what's possible for every Uma out there. Pocket broke past the only person holding her back, and that shined onto Tacheon's eyes. Screw the self-doubt, screw the bad card she's been dealt. She knows others can reach the limits of what's possible, and yet she wants to break the limit with her own two legs as well. I love this movie so much, and you have to give a round of applause to the announcer lady. The anime in the movie doesn't have much of those super internal monologue like other animes do, so having the announcer amplifies the tone way better than I can ever do. This movie blew me out of the water, like, poof. How do you even draw that? This is how I imagine LSD smells. And they say that the modern stuff doesn't hold a candle to the old. If you want to check out the anime and the movie, I recommend Cinderella Grey first since it's also animated by Cygames. Then you can watch Road to the Top since it's a prequel to the movie, or you can do what I did and just watch the movie right away. They're all their own self-contained stories, so you're not missing out on anything. But despite the glamour and prestige of the sport, the real-life counterpart is a much different story. Most horses are trained in extremely harsh conditions before they even become 2 years old, to the point that they die from exhaustion or even worse, develop a chronic injury during training. Horses who are injured have an incredibly hard chance of a clean recovery due to their biological makeup. There's a reason why people say sending the horse to the glue factory or shooting the horse after it breaks its leg. Yes, it's sad, and some might argue, wouldn't it be better to just let the horse relax and live out the rest of its life? To which I have really bad news. Even if they make a full recovery, they will forever suffer pain from that injury until the day they die. So many trainers see that the most humane way of dealing with a serious injury is to make it end quickly. Such as the tragic story of Silent Suzuka, a beloved horse in-game and in real life. Born in 1994, Silent Suzuka had an impressive and promising career, but all of that changed during the November 1st, 1998 Tenno show. Silent Suzuka was setting up one of the most dominating finish ever recorded, and his pace was theoretically monstrous even to this day. In the middle of the race, Silent Suzuka's leg fractured, forcing him into a lot of pain, but instead of screaming or even showing any sign of it, Suzuka managed to calmly stop and let his jockey down. When a horse suffers a serious fracture in even one leg and is unable to stand, it is no longer able to circulate blood, and eventually the limbs begins to die, leading to a painful death. With the discretion of a veterinarian and the consent of the owner, the incredibly difficult decision of euthanization was performed on the track. Even if they end a career well, they will most often come out of it with some kind of debilitating pain. In fact, the story of horses ending up on a good farm are for those who are lucky enough to end up with good owners. Horse racing isn't about racing, it's about extreme eugenics, selling as commodities, and the massive gambling scenes behind it. I don't want to ruin this sport for anyone, especially when it is genuinely exciting to watch. Still, I believe that everyone should at least learn about both sides of the sport, even if it is dark or saddening, because I think it would help in understanding and appreciating these beautiful creatures even more. But there is one lore bit that perhaps could make you feel better, and it's that every horse in our world will be transported to the Musume world regardless of legend or not. And I want to show you guys one last perspective of a story, the perspective of a trainer.